Idea number 2, okay, emphasizing the joyride. The joyride, once again, is a ride to anywhere. We know this from the dictionary. And again, keeping the theme of wanderlust and driving for the sake of driving, there's something I want to explain as a disruptive marketing campaign that I think is quite unique, and it will take something visual to explain it. Basically, the theme is, obviously Volkswagen, take the joyride or drive the joyride. And then with, again, a double entendre, like all things, it's got to be subtextual in terms of the meaning, straightforward and supporting subtextual meaning, is if life is a joyride or life is a journey, if life is a ride, as we'd identify as life being a joyride, where you go, question mark, you decide. So again, the joyride, where do you go? You decide. And what that is saying is that basically in your life, you control your life by your choices and your action, your decision. But as the metaphor for a joyride is simply that if you were really taking a joyride, where you physically go is up to you. When you get to a stop sign, you take a right or left, right? Okay. Let's go with that physicality of a literal joyride, and let's bring it into interactive life. Now, what am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is the idea that we create what is called a multi-staged, basically decision-oriented binary model, where the first scene of the video is for, let's say, 30 seconds, is getting in a Volkswagen and driving. And as you drive, you get to a fork in the road. And on the fork in the road, there's some sound down to the right, and there's something visual to the left, okay? Neither one's discernible. And you, at the end of this 30-second scene, which has shown a certain VW model in all its glory from a lot of cool angles, all in 30 seconds, just driving into a cool-looking road, getting to this fork. So at that 30-second point, at the end of that, it stops and it asks, and this is an interactive website that says, which way do you want to go, right or left? The joyride, basically, and always at the top saying, the joyride, you decide. In other words, we're identifying that it's an existential choice, or it's a very basic choice of right and left or right and wrong. But here's the point. We make a layered video where if they choose the right, then we go to a sublink, it takes us to page 2, let's say, which is another 30-second to 1-minute video where XYZ happens. If they take it on the left, ABC happens, something diametrically opposed. Okay? So if the first layer is 1, and the second layer has 2 possibilities, then at the end of the 2 possibilities, there's also 2 possibilities, so that's the next layer is 4. There's 2 possibilities at each node there, which makes 8. And how many layers should we go? I think to basically 32 or 64. So we start with 1, we have that fork in the road. We lead to right or left, and the point of each of them is that at the end, let's say we stop at, say, 32. So it's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. 5 layers, okay. That is a 2.5-minute experience because they're 30 seconds each, and only one of the 32 endings has the ending that is, say, the prize or the upside, or gets you the clue to go forward in this campaign, disruptive campaign. In other words, like a good game, it is a journey where you decide to go on this actual virtual joyride we're taking you through the web. Determines whether or not you get to one of the 32 or 64 or 128. Doesn't matter how many layers you go. It just matters how much time effort you want to put into the creation of these short videos. But the point is, becomes an interactive choose your own adventure on the web, where the VW is featured through everything from different angles and different situations, and we are basically taking the VW and making it a character in a very simplistic film. I mean, we're talking a guy and a girl, and only one of the endings do they get together and drive into the sunset happily. In other words, we want that happy ending, so we keep trying to make different decisions to get there. At the end of the day, again, it can be tied into some type of campaign disruptively, where if you get to the right part, you get a code, you get a promo code, you get something that if you go into a VW, you get X, Y, Z, whatever this giveaway is, because no matter what you do disruptively as a portal, as a catalytic event, you have to have the carrot at the end of the string. So again, I believe that this could be the way to do it, is through what I call the joyride, you decide. Infrastructure is the number 2 idea. The you decide infrastructure, a multi-layer, binary noded video clip a daisy chain link to where you have anywhere from 8 to 16 to 32 to 64 final realities in a spreading sort of matrix that is symmetrical, that spreads like a tree going, inverted, or looks like a pyramid with the capstone. But at the end of the day, it follows a geometric pattern, 1, 2, and keeps doubling. Anyway, that is it. So we can go into that for a lot of different applications, that whole idea of an interactive video like that. But again, following a literal metaphorical journey and making it part of a story. A lot of companies are already doing short films for their brands for cars, and this makes it a little bit more interesting because it's interactive and you get to make choices. The joyride, you decide.